John Anderson.
We're all very active. Performance of very 15 stage standing. The championship available in final time in San Antonio. This is also called Road Series USA.
He's got it.
During U.S. Army All-American Bowl, we pay our respects for property. The U.S. Army All-American Bowl, to all the men and women outstanding are currently serving our military. We thank you for your service. Another round of applause. Our team captain to the field of the point toss.
I don't know if I ever lost. What's the next game? Seattle, Iowa.
He can use mine because I'm not going to need him.
My journey to the pros was kind of different than a lot of people's, and I knew the challenges were against me, but I've always liked being the underdog in life. Hi, I'm Dane Fletcher, linebacker for the New England Patriots. For more on me, check out eastbay.com/Dane Fletcher.
Antonio, Texas, for our second semifinal in the 6th grade semifinals for the national championship. My name is Randy Rosenblum, set to call the play-by-play alongside Matt DeRazio. He'll assist us today on our broadcast with Maryland and Georgia in the semifinals. Two terrific football teams. The winner will play North Texas. North Texas already advancing to the national championship game. They'll play Sunday after thrashing Oregon earlier this morning, 42-0. So North Texas into the finals, and either Maryland or Georgia will meet them in the title tilt. Matt, it's fun to have a sixth grade division, and it's fun to have Maryland and Georgia here. We think this is going to be a really good football game.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, because on so many levels, these guys are representing so many things. Not only the teams they came from their original team to the all-star team, but the states that they come from, and they really want to prove that they have the best football in that area.
These teams have had their way coming into this semifinal as we look back at how they've done. And Georgia, which will be green and white today, they'll be in the green and the white. Georgia defeated Gulf Coast in the opening round 26-12. Shut out GFL 14-0. In the third week, blasted Nashville 48-6. And then in the quarterfinals over South Florida, Georgia, another resounding victory, 32-0. Now for Maryland, which will be in red and white. Maryland with a 40-6 victory to start the proceedings against North Virginia. Then they defeated Hampton 24-6. In week 3, got by a good Indiana team, 22-12. And last week, in the quarterfinals, shut out Massachusetts, 28-0. Whenever you look at youth football, I always look at the quarterbacks, Matt, and we have a couple good ones, starting with Georgia and Harrison Bailey. And the one thing that stood out about Harrison when he came onto the floor of this football field here at Wheatley Stadium was his size.
Absolutely, a big kid. And the thing about this is, although sixth grade you think, maybe a little bit smaller guys, we saw them, Randy, on the field. They're unbelievably big for their age group. And Bailey is a good quarterback. He's got size, he's got speed, he reads the defense as well, and he's led his team this far.
On the other side, we'll see number 7, Trace Campbell. He'll play for Maryland, and he can get it done as well.
5'4", 145 pounds, really known for a pocket passer in this spread offense. Can avoid the rush a little bit, but really is looking to air it out.
We're just about ready for some football. Georgia will get the football first. Harrison Bailey, their fine quarterback, getting ready on the sideline. And we'll see what develops in our national semifinal. Kids are so excited to be here. For the most part, they're 11 and 12-year-old youngsters. They're like grown men, though. They're so astute, well-mannered, and they've been coached so well in the FBU camps.
And that's the key, really. The kids start at such a young age now with all the social media and all the TV and the highlights. They gather that. They see how their role models are acting. They take it out here on the field, and they start to act and carry themselves the same way. And it really does all start with the FBU football camps. As an instructor, quarterback instructor, a lot of these guys, and all these guys, have earned their way onto these teams through the FBU football camps in their regional areas.
Well, this one should be a good one. We're waiting for this one to commence. We think we're going to have a hotly contested battle. The first game was more of a blowout. We think this one is going to be a lot tighter. Maryland kicking off to Georgia, and it's an onside kick, and that's not unusual in youth football. It's covered beautifully by Georgia. That's what you want to do. Asante Das covered the football, and it'll be starting field position from the 49-yard line. And we'll take a look at Harrison Bailey, number 13, the quarterback. Running backs, Dante Marshall, Jared Stokes. Jordan Simmons is another running back that'll play extensively today, who is so good. It's a football team that is very aggressive and will go up-tempo. Bailey out of the gun. Bailey looking to throw, and down he goes. Hit hard. Never had a shot.
Yeah, tried a little misdirection there, Georgia did, but the pressure coming off the edge, Jordan Anderson from that defensive end position was not fooled at all. Ran right upfield, got right into Bailey's face, and came up with a big sack.
Jordan Anderson with a statement shot, the defensive end. High football IQ, very intelligent player, but he got there with force. Second down and 20. Bailey being pursued. Going to go down again. Maryland getting to the quarterback early.
Yeah, and Dominique Perry, we've been waiting to say this guy's name. When he got off the bus, we were like, this guy may be in the wrong age division. 6'1", 189 pounds, defensive end. Really the guy that plays well on both sides of the football, but defensively is a huge threat. And right now, instant pressure from this Maryland team has obviously got Georgia shaken up.
And in the first 55 seconds, an instant timeout from Georgia, from their coaching staff.
And I think that's what you got to do. There's obviously a lot of emotions that come into these games. These are young kids. This is very exciting to get this far at this level of competition. Sometimes it's hard to handle the nerves. So things aren't going well for Georgia. You call timeout, you bring your guys in, and you say, here's what we're going to do, get back to what you know, and trying to get them all on the same page and focused.
The Georgia blocking schemes early on have not developed. They have infiltrated in a couple quick sacks for Maryland.
Yeah, and what it is it's tough. So obviously, there's a little bit of film these coaches get to watch, but not much preparation. You're counting on your guys to be fundamentally sound and, block your man on man, but sometimes it comes down to the guy across from you is just a little bit better. And right now, in 2 plays, Maryland's proven they're a little bit better up front.
Third down, 25, ball resting back at the 33-yard line. So Bailey on the first 2 plays, drifting back to pass, has been sacked. Better protection. Had his man incomplete. It was available. Isaiah Lee was there, and Bailey just missed him, so it's 3 and out. And Georgia will have to kick it away.
And I like the call by Coach Keith Belton. Wanted to air it out a little bit on the corner route. Had Lee, and once again, 2 sacks in a row. Sometimes as a quarterback you can get a little bit jittery. Just the good news for them was they got the pass off. There was an open receiver. Unfortunately, just did not connect.
You're right. It was executed very well. Brock Travelstead will punt. Blown dead for a moment. Our referee is Mike Weiss. Flag going against Georgia. One of the things that was so impressive about North Texas in the first game, the 42-0 win over Oregon, was their execution level, lack of penalties, lack of turnovers. There's a high snap. It's going to be picked up down at the 1-yard line. And Maryland, first and goal.
And Randy, I'll tell you, sometimes the one thing that gets missed in all-star teams and all-star games like this is the special teams. And that can be a huge factor. Obviously, when you're trying to play a field position game, you have a high snap, all of a sudden, offensively you're struggling, then special teams compounds that, and Maryland has a ton of momentum and right in the foot of the goal line here to score.
You gotta love the fact that Maryland, their defense impressive, gets the turnover off the specialty team mistake. Trace Campbell, the quarterback, and company will line up, and they love Littleton. He is a tremendous running back, 32, and they also enjoy the work of Jordan Anderson, number 4. So let's see if Trace Campbell calls his own number, the quarterback. He's number 7. Some fresh players into the game for Georgia. So the red and white with an opportunity. After the special teams mistake, we've only played 1 minute, 8 seconds of this first quarter. And it is the quarterback, Campbell. Trace does not get to the goal line. He might have lost a yard. Good defense by Georgia.
And that's what they need to do defensively. Obviously, they've got to bring some pressure. Sudden change, it's tough to really show up with the, offensively, Maryland's got to be happy with the field position they have. But Georgia, this is make them earn it. That's the kind of the philosophy that the coaches have. Make them earn every yard, and to come out defensively with some pressure is huge right there.
Second down and goal. The ball back at the 5. That is a big play by the defense of Georgia. Again, Antoine Littleton, number 32, is a tremendous running back. He is the deep back in the pistol. End around. That's not going to work. So again, tremendous defense. Malcolm Johnson came around, and Georgia's making the plays.
Yeah, Dante Marshall off the edge there for Georgia is staying home, and you love it when kids do what they're coached. Fundamentally sound, don't get sucked in by the misdirection, stay home, and when the guy comes you, make a tackle. Great tackle by Dante Marshall.
Ball back to the 7. So 2 plays, 2 losses for Maryland. 3rd and goal. 7:25 left, opening quarter. National semifinals, the FBU national semifinals. And now they may have taken too much time. Well, this penalty is going to put them back 5 more yards. So what a stand currently brewing for Georgia.
Yeah, and a momentum shift for them because, they're hanging their heads after the offensive performance they have. The snap over the head, all of a sudden you can feel sorry for yourself. But the defense coming out here and trying to get that energy back.
Off of what we've seen early, points may be hard to come by in this national semifinal. Maryland took over inside the 2-yard line after a bad snap. 2 plays later, they're looking at 3rd down and 10, back at the 11.5. Handoff, Littleton, he's bottled up. And Georgia's excited. They're making plays. They're making hits. Keshawn Robinson greeted him.
Really, defensively, they have shown up. And the thing about youth football, especially at this level, 6th grade, the kicking game is not automatic. So in this case, they're going to make them earn 10 yards, 11 yards here on the ground.
4th down, they're going to go for it. A confident Georgia defense. That defensive front kneeling down. Rush, Jones, Diao, and Marshall. They're good up front. They've been good in this sequence early for Georgia. 4th and goal. Can Campbell come up with a big conversion? Trace looking to throw the ball. End zone. Got his man. Touchdown. He got Dominic Perry for the score.
We had heard so much about this quarterback, Trace Campbell, and really just standing there, let the play develop and go to his big guy. I mean, that guy's 6'1", taller than everybody else, put it in a place only he could catch it. Great route, great pass, huge conversion there on 3rd down.
So after being backed up on 2 negative plays and then a penalty, they're able to overcome it on the toss from Campbell to Perry for 11 yards and the TD. 6-0 with 6:05 to play, opening quarter. And they're going to go for 2. 6th grade division, our national FBU semifinal. Littleton up the middle. Didn't get there, lost the ball. The conversion try is no good.
Tell you what, although they gave up 6 points, this Georgia defense is showing they're for real. Gave one up over the top, but the goal coming into this game was really to stop Antoine Littleton, the guy who scored 10 touchdowns coming in this game. They have bottled him up, and they are forcing Trace Campbell to do it through the air.
6:05 to play, opening quarter, 6-0. Just mentioned, points may be hard to come by. We did get the points on a shortened field, so they took advantage of the mistake, the turnover, to get the score. And they lead by 6-0. And Georgia will get the ball back, and they did not move the football the first time they had it.
No, they didn't. The thing about that is you have a chance to come to the sideline, regroup, understand it's a long game. There's 4 quarters. We're playing great competition. Put it all in perspective. The next thing is, the next most important thing is the next series. You go out there as your quarterback and your leader, and Harrison Bailey, get the guys rallied up, go have a couple positive plays to get some tempo and some rhythm in your offense.
And the last time they threw the football, even though they didn't have a connection, Bailey had time, and it was there for them to be had. They just didn't execute it.
Yeah, Randy, you're right. I mean, maybe that's the way they go, and that's how the first couple series of all games, that's when coaches are kind of feeling out what they like to do too and what's going to work. And maybe, Coach Belton's going to see going to the air against this Maryland defense may be the way to go.
Maryland to kick off for the second time. And again, onside kicks are normally the order of the day. It's a short line drive kick. Quite a catch by Das. It was a line drive, tough one to handle. He was able to bring it in. It was driven hard, that kick, and not an easy grab. Edward Core was the one who kicked it, and I'll tell you, he slammed that one pretty hard at Doss. But again, they're lined up almost in the same spot, almost the identical spot. Instead of the 49, they're at the 48-yard line. First down and 10 to go for Harrison Bailey and company. 6-0. 6 minutes in to the ball game. Right up the middle, a hard run for Jared Stokes, and he's bent back. Well, the crowd here is enthusiastic, a lot of noise representing Maryland.
Yeah, and Keith Belton trying to establish the running game, but I'll tell you what, it is tough sledding there with Antoine Littleton in the middle at linebacker, 5'7", 180 pounds. Maybe the biggest sixth grader we've seen, really put together when we saw him down the field.
Well, we talk so mumuch about him as an offensive player, but he's playing on both sides. Here's a Bailey throw to the near side, which is accurate to Isaiah Lee. Lee at the 30. Lee is into the secondary. He's into the end zone. 50 yards. Bailey to Lee. We're 6 apiece.
And how about Harrison Bailey fighting through the whole thing? A couple bad plays in a row, starting the game not exactly how he wants to. Comes into a flat route with Lee. Lee does an unbelievable job making the catch. The catcher key. That's a sign of a true game changer.
One of the young boys is down. Being attended to in the back of the end zone after the Lee catch and run of 50 yards, and it is Isaiah Lee. Hopefully he's just exhausted going the distance. 5:17 to play, 6 apiece. Just thought to be a difficulty in scoring here, and that's not what has occurred. We've had the touchdown pass from Trace Campbell and a touchdown pass from the fine quarterback Harrison Bailey. And Lee is up. That's a good sign. Although I don't like the fact that he's hobbling a little bit. You'll hate to see that in a youngster, but you have to love his effort and the fact that he got in the end zone.
Gutty effort. In fact, the last 15 yards there, he was limping. He didn't know if it was a cramp or what it was, but the fact that he made a couple guys miss, broke a couple tackles, and accelerated there at the end was very impressive.
The PAT, yes, they are going to kick. They love their kicker, Brock Travelstead. It could be an advantage if it's a tight game. Travelstead will kick here, try to give his club the lead. Tanner Bentley will hold. Pretty good leg, but he's just a little bit wide to the left. Even though he missed it, I love the fact that they go for it with the kick. Travelstead's a good young kicker.
He really is. In fact, his nickname is Legatron, and the thing about that is, you're right, it could be a difference. Although he missed that one, if the game stays tight, you poke in a three-pointer and could change the game.
We'll step out, 5:17 to play, opening quarter, 6 apiece. This is the National Championship Semifinals from FBU.
I've been playing chess since I was 9 years old. It helps me anticipate my opponent's next move. Chess prepares my mind for battle. Because victory requires my strength, my speed, and my intelligence. My name is Ray Rice, and I'm an enlightened warrior.
Midway stage of the opening quarter at a 6-6 draw. With Matt DeRazio, I'm Randy Rosenblum. We're having a good time here. Hope you are as well as we look in on this national semifinal, the 6th grade division. And we're going to see a return for Maryland. Right across the 30-yard line to the 35. That's where Maryland will start. See what they can accomplish here after the return by Clayton Back. We're going to put them down at the 34. With the red and white, Leo Minus is their head coach. Get it established. They can pound the football. They can also throw it. There's have that dimension in their game. But they really love those running backs, and Littleton and Anderson and Caleb Williams when he's in there. There's a flag, and unfortunately for Maryland, it cost him some real estate back to the 24. What do you expect to see from Maryland on this series of downs?
Well, they ran 3 plays. 2 of the running plays got stuffed because of the aggressive style of Georgia's defense. 1 ball through the air, 1 for 1. Trace Campbell is with the touchdown. You expect to see him throwing a little bit more.
He was very leery of 66 on defense. Jordan Rush, terrific player. Littleton out across the 30-yard line. He's the featured running back. Dropped by Curtis Scott, one of the linebackers. But a good initial hit there for Maryland. They ran it well and picked up 6 yards. 2nd down and 4. 4:40 left, first quarter. Maryland 6 and Georgia 6. Littleton again. After a gain of about 1.5 yards, he's hurled back.
You know what he is, and you can, once again, you can see that linebacker play from Georgia is definitely focusing on Littleton, and that's the key to the game, is stopping him. But Maryland is still on schedule. When you get 3.5, and you got yourself in 3rd and short, that's exactly what you want, because you have the two-way option of throwing the ball and also running it with Littleton. So once again, it puts the defense in a tough position. They are definitely still on schedule here as an offense.
And also in youth football, we'll see it extensively. They'll go for it on 4th down if it's short yardage, even in tenuous field conditions and field spots. Doesn't matter if they're back at their 30-yard line. 3rd down and 1 yard. They run option. It's the quarterback, Campbell, 1st down. As he late throws it over to the running back, the trailing back. Campbell did a nice job of getting it to Littleton at the last moment.
He really did. The speed option out of the gun right there, and Littleton did a good job keeping pitch relationship. He didn't get too far away and didn't get too far ahead. And Trace Campbell did a good job at sucking in the defender, doing a good job with the fundamentals of pitching that ball. And obviously Littleton is a tough guy to bring down. Luckily that sideline was there, otherwise he might have taken him to the house.
Luckily for Georgia, unfortunately for Maryland. But still in all, they got the necessary yardage out to the 41. 1st down. Clock running with 3:25 remaining in the opening quarter. The green and white on defense of Georgia. Maryland attacking in the red and the white. Throw into traffic, and it's a great catch. That's good enough for another 1st down. Well, the dimension to run it and throw it. Picks up the 1st down yardage. Beautiful grab for Maryland.
It looked like that was Connor Foster Jackson from the slot position. He knows where the sticks are. He's got to get 10 yards, turn around. It's a timing route. And once again, Trace Campbell has proven that he can really, he's the leader of this football team, and he's the field general out there commanding this offense.
Connor Foster Jackson, they call him Little Scrappy. He made the grab, and he was scrappy. And the 1st down. Another throw. That one's picked. It was intended for Perry and intercepted.
Unbelievable defensive play, great position, well-thrown football, but when the defensive back is in the right position, sometimes they just make plays. And not only did he make a good play as far as getting to the football, but securing the football and being a great athlete. Sometimes they, the knock on DBs is they can't catch. Well, proven right there. Hands are certainly on the defensive side, and a big turnover there for Georgia.
So Georgia gets the ball back. After the Robinson interception. We have a timeout on the field as we're down to 2:41 left in the quarter. And this is a competitive football game. Maryland and Georgia with a good one going. In the first 10-minute stanza, we do play 10-minute quarters at our FBU National Championships. Started with over 60 teams. We've whittled it down to 4.
You know what's so impressive, honestly, is you see these kids out here as sixth graders, like as you said, Randy, 11 and 12-year-olds. But fundamentally, I mean, they get it. They're picking up offenses that they've only just learned maybe a month and a half ago. They're working with guys they don't typically work with, and it all looks good. Not many penalties. It's running well, and I'll tell you what, it's just unbelievable.
Third member of our broadcast team is Tyler Olson. Let's go to him for the first time today.
Thanks, fellas. Down here on the sideline after Isaiah Lee's long touchdown run, he came up a little bit gimpy on the sideline, now getting worked on by the trainer. It looks like it's just cramps, though. They hope to get him back here before the end of the first half. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Tyler. A penalty that'll help Georgia's cause. Taking the ball out to the 42-yard line. It'll be 1st and 5. Give us an opportunity after we saw Trace Campbell do his thing to look at quarterback Harrison Bailey. 5'6" and 130 pounds, but he looks bigger than that. And they run the football with Jared Stokes to the 45-yard line. Remember, it was a 1st and 5 after the penalty. So Georgia ahead of the sticks. So often we hear of teams being behind the sticks. They were ahead of the sticks, and they could just run the football straight at that Maryland front. It'll be 2nd down and a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Really looking to the sideline for what he hopes is a very creative play. And he wasn't waiting for the snap. He has to fall back on it at the 30-yard line.
And there's where the miscommunication comes into play. The players are looking to the sideline as they signal in, and that's something it takes a lot of time to really perfect. And right there, quarterback Harrison Bailey was not ready, still trying to line everybody up. Centers off just a little bit, snaps it, and then you have the miscue where you go from 2nd and 1. Now all of a sudden you're in 3rd and long, and really put your offensive coordinator in a tough spot.
Really do. From 3rd and 1. You have options. 3rd and 15, you're probably going to throw the football. 90 seconds to play in the quarter. Bailey pressured again. Sacked for the 3rd time in the opening quarter. And the 2nd time by Jordan Anderson.
We expected to see Jordan Anderson on the offensive side of the ball with all the touchdowns he's scored leading his team this far. But I'll tell you what, defensively, he's really making his mark.
Yeah, he has been a stud. And the Maryland defense has been really strong in this game. They gave up the one big play. You hate to see that from a defensive perspective, the 50-yard touchdown pass from Bailey to Lee. But other than that, they've been mighty impressive. 4th down and long, and they're going to have to punt it away with Brock Travelstead. Again, he's that accomplished kicker who's got the wonderful nickname of Legatron. See what Legatron can do. It's a line drive kick. Will not be returned. Running away from the football was Malcolm Johnson, the return artist. Final 27 seconds of the quarter. We'll see what Maryland can get done here offensively. Really, even though we've seen a score from each side, Matt, I get the feeling, the sense that the defenses are in control.
Well, typically that's how it is. It takes a little bit longer for the offenses to get in gear, but this is kind of what you expect. At this level, two evenly matched teams that took a couple of series to get the nerves out, and an even score here after 1 quarter.
Mike Weiss is conferring with his crew. Didn't see a flag go down. Might be over where to spot the football, but if there is a flag, and now they're starting to march some yardage off against Maryland, it came late. Must have been a personal foul. There was no indication.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but they are certainly moving in the wrong direction, and once again, field position becomes an issue here for the Maryland football team.
Ball placed back at the 29-yard line for Maryland. Quarterback Trace Campbell. And Littleton and Anderson are the feature running backs. He's loved trying to throw the football to Dominic Perry. Did get an 11-yard touchdown to Perry in this quarter. This is Littleton trying the right side. A terrific run by number 32.
Randy, we've seen Littleton between the tackles, and obviously he's a big guy, tough to bring down, but showing speed on the edge was something that we haven't seen today, but certainly has been a key for him in his 10 touchdowns over the course of this tournament.
11 yards and a first down for Littleton. Antoine Littleton from Laurel, Maryland, 5'7", but he's 180 pounds. That's a load at the 6th grade level.
And a lot of muscle, too. We saw him. In fact, you said, Antoine, are you 12? He said, yep, I'm 12. And no, he's a good football player at 12 years old.
Campbell lobbing that one too high for Malcolm Johnson. Good job, though, by Trace to get out of the pocket and try to create. That takes us to the end of the first quarter. We are tied at 6 apiece. So move into the second quarter. In this national semifinal game, which is looking to be a good one, the winner gets North Texas in the national championship final on Sunday. After the first 10 minutes, it's Georgia 6 and Maryland 6. This is the FBU National Semifinals.
Cecil Martin here again from NCSA Athletic Recruiting. It is crucial that you are proactive in the recruiting process at a young age. Make sure you don't sit back and let this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity pass you by. Visit our website to educate yourself on the vital steps that you need to take to make your dream become a reality.
I try to just be the guy who's clutch at the end of the game. When the game's on the line, I want to be the guy with the ball with 2 minutes left. And I think more than anything, I just try to visualize myself being successful. Russell Wilson, quarterback of Seattle Seahawks.
Okay,
check me out.
Let's see it.
Russell Wilson.
Once you see what FBU video training can do for your game,
you want to be the guy with the ball with 2 minutes left. And I think more than anything, I just try to visualize myself being successful. Russell Wilson, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. Check me out on eastbay.com/Russell Wilson.
And before the play, it's blown dead. They don't have the chain gang down there. Need to know where the sticks are.
Tell you what, sometimes some guys are sleeping on the job. Try to go over there and get that coffee and donuts at the intermission and need the chains. Got to have them in there.
Man, it's early in the morning, though, so maybe they're not quite awake yet.
We're the second game into it. Those first two teams, they had to battle the early morning. This is a noon game on a Friday. I mean, you're out of school in January. Doesn't get much better than this.
And it was chilly this morning. It was in the 20s when we arrived. The field was frosty, and we were thrilled when the sun came about. It was glistening off the ice at the beginning, but the ice has gone away. It's a gorgeous day in the mid-50s for Georgia and Maryland to battle in the semifinals. Campbell calling his own number, goes nowhere. Trace looked up and there was nowhere to roam. Had no opportunity at all. Jordan Rush, and again, we're going to call his name a lot. I think what they have done, the clock is showing 10 minutes. I wonder if there was a penalty that gave them an extra play. And I think that's what just occurred, and now we're going to go to the second quarter. That was an untimed down.
Randy, my apologies to the chain gang then. They knew what was going on. They were waiting they didn't know about the untimed down, so they were trying to get in position. And it looks, I think you're exactly right. And now they're going to make the switch, and you can see the guy with the down marker with a 2 on it is in the right spot now, and we're going to get this whole thing sorted out.
So they did have their coffee and donuts early in the morning.
That's right. Maybe I was the one that's wrong, that I'm the one that needs the coffee. We never got that order fulfilled, did we?
We'll get it. We'll get that. After one quarter, it's tied at 6 apiece, and that's the bottom line, and that's what we love to see here. Competitive football with a lot at stake. The national championship potentially hanging in the balance for the winner of this team. Again, North Texas is waiting. And weren't they impressive earlier today with a 42-0 rout of a very, very good Oregon team? Anyway, I'm anxious to see what develops here in the second quarter. We've had big plays. We've had great defensive stands, big hits. Statistics just handed to us after the first quarter, and the absence of a running game has been noteworthy. The two quarterbacks, Bailey Harrison, 1 of 2, and Trace Campbell's 2 of 3. So we haven't had a whole lot of offense, but we had that 150-yard play. Touchdown catch by Isaiah Lee. Trace Campbell remains in as a quarterback as we begin the second quarter. Campbell's arcing pass to the sideline. Again, he wanted his angular target, the tight end Dominic Perry, but he was outside the boundary.
Yeah, once again, trying to move Trace Campbell out of the pocket, see if you can get something happening on the run. But when you sprint to the boundary, sometimes you run out of room. And in that pass, if there was an extra yard there, might have had a chance. But Perry was definitely pushed out of bounds as the ball came in.
11 seconds into the second quarter. It'll be 3rd down and 20. Ball spotted at the 23 of Team Maryland. Their touchdown was the 11-yard strike from Trace Campbell to Dominic Perry. Rangy tight end, wide receiver with terrific speed. They need a big play if they want to hold on to the football. They pitch it back to Littleton, and Antoine turns the corner. Antoine Littleton. He's going to come up short, but perhaps that's a message for later on because it was a nice effort.
Well, him getting the edge is certainly key because when he's out in space and you've got some of those smaller DBs and safeties trying to come up, that can be difficult to tackle, a 5'7", 180-pound guy. But you're right. Setting the tone for maybe down the road is key, and also playing field position. But this also comes to the point that you brought up earlier, which I think is key. Potential could go for it. You're not always punting just because the rule book says we got to punt and it's 4th and long. They may be going for it right here.
Well, the scoreboard says 4th down. The chain gang has it as 4th down and 15. This is not normally a situation you go for it. And I think they might second guess their original call, and they're going to take a timeout. It's one thing if it's 4th and 3, 4th and 4, and it's makeable, or certainly yardage that's negotiable. 4th and 15, that would be interesting.
I think what happens is these coaches and these teams, they travel from a good distance, and they want to leave it all on the field. They don't want to go back if they lose thinking maybe, we should have done this, we should have done that. So right now they're taking a timeout and trying to figure it out.
We'll take the timeout with them. We'll come back and see what they do on 4th down. It's 6 for Georgia, 6 for Maryland. These are the national semifinals presented by FBU. Down. Looks like they are going to go for it. They need 15. Littleton again on the sweep. Reverses his field. He's not going to get it. He's thrown for a loss, and Georgia comes up big defensively.
We're rolling the dice. You come all this way. You try to think, they can go for it on 4th and long. And, Randy, I'm with you. That might have been a little bit of a stretch, and especially the way this Georgia defense is pursuing to the football right now. They're showing they have speed. They have awareness of where the ball is. And obviously, as a team, they are tackling well.
Good news for Georgia. They take over the pigskin. They also have their brilliant wide receiver, Isaiah Lee, running wind sprints on the track here on the press box side. And Isaiah, I'm sure, wants to get back in. He's not quite back in yet, but I would think he'll come back before this one's over. Georgia takes over. Excellent field position. Harrison Bailey setting up the screen. Near side, well defended. Not a lot of operating room for Jordan Simmons.
Well, it looked like it was going to be a nice play, and I like that Coach Belton called the screen. You're getting some pressure up front. But the thing about it is, defensively, is Antoine Littleton's playing at a different speed. He's coming from that linebacker position. He sees ball, he goes, gets ball, full speed, and makes a huge hit.
Yeah, he is a terrific two-way player. 2nd down and 8. There's a better pass, and you love it when a receiver comes back to help his quarterback, and that was a great job coming back by Logan Jones. I mean, that was a ball that was thrown short, and he came back and helped his quarterback.
Greeny, I agree. As a former quarterback, you hope you're only as good as your quarterback, or excuse me, as your receivers can really play. And for them, for Logan Jones to hit the brakes, have body control, adjust, and focus on that football was a huge play by him.
I formation. They give the ball to Stokes. Didn't get there. They're going to be looking at 4th down. I guess you can gamble if you're Maryland on offense when you know your defense and you have this much confidence in your defense to make stops, because now Georgia's looking at 4th down.
Randy, this is certainly a reasonable area to go for it. Obviously, you're in the red zone and you're trying to get some points on the board. So I agree with Coach Belton. You got to fire it up and go for it.
4th down and 4. In the red zone. The green and white is looking for it with a pass over the middle. No good. And the ball's going to go over and downs to Maryland. So Bailey raised up, couldn't hit his target, and the Maryland defense holds, and that's a great stop.
It really is, especially because of the field position they gave up by going for it. And sometimes things like that can really give you a lot of momentum, because as a coach, Coach Leo Minus says we're going to go for it, but then all of a sudden we're in a hole, but the defense responds, they get the ball back, and they get it back for the offense, and all of a sudden they're definitely rejuvenated.
Well, we've seen Jordan Anderson make a couple sacks on defense today for Team Maryland. Let's see what he does offensively. Jordan Anderson, an outstanding running back, along with Littleton. 32 Antoine Littleton has been the feature guy, though. And that's where they're going again, with Antoine Littleton right into the middle of that Team Georgia front. Takes it out to the 20-yard line. That's a pickup of 4. It's 2nd down and 6.
You're going to have to earn your yards. There's no doubt about it, especially the way this front seven's playing for Georgia. A couple big guys up front. Linebackers are scraping really well. But with that being said, Maryland is still on schedule. You got your 3.5 on 1st down, and that's what you want to do to keep your rhythm going.
Again, Marshall, Diao, Jones, and Rush up front are very good. And even the backups, the likes of Ebony Jackson, Tristan Sheldman, are very good players. Delayed pitch. One wasn't executed quite as well, and down on the ground to get it was Malcolm Johnson. The Georgia defenders were over there in force anyway.
They really were. In fact, they were not fooled at all. A little option there, and the thing about it is these green jerseys are flying to the football. When you're playing team defense, you really give yourself and your team a legitimate chance to win the football game.
Inside of 6 minutes to play in the half. .535 now officially to play. Here comes the red and white of Maryland on 3rd down and 11 after the negative play. Trace Campbell. Again, didn't get the play called. They come in from the sideline, took too much time. So now it'll be 3rd and 16. That's not going to be easy. One thing you don't want to do around here, Matt, is you don't want to make a mistake in a 6-6 time. Here's the long throw downfield, incomplete. 4:55 left in the half, and here's a situation where you have to punt the ball. But again, Team Maryland has great confidence that they can kick it away here, I would imagine.
And that's the key. You obviously, it's 4th and long, backed up. You don't typically go for it, but you got to make sure your special teams is sound. What you don't want is a bad snap, or maybe you don't have a punter that maybe can get it past 10, 15 yards, because this is the one phase when you play on an all-star team, on teams like this, that really gets overlooked.
I got to stand corrected here. I mean, are they gonna go for it from their 10, 11-yard line? They are. So they have no faith in their kicking game. They have great faith in their offense. And Maryland again calls a timeout. We'll see if they indeed kick it. I mean, they got away with it the last time. How often do you see a team go for it on 4th and 11, 4th and 15, 4th and 20? It doesn't matter to Maryland. We're going to step out and see if they go for it on 4th and 15 this time, right after this. This is the national semifinals, presented by FBU.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting nominations for its nationwide camps. We teach cutting-edge techniques, drills, and mental aspects of the game to increase your football IQ and make you a better player. Our instructors are current and former NFL coaches, the same coaches that train today's NFL stars. FBU is by invitation only, so score an invite today at footballuniversity.org.
Well, they are going to go for it. Team Maryland, 4th and 15 at their 11. Nope, it's going to be a Littleton punt. Thought they might do that earlier. With the left foot, he kicked it at least outside the 20. And this is an advantage for Georgia. I mean, that kicking game gives them a huge advantage here.
Yeah, going forward, as you're calling your defense, you understand that Maryland's really in a bind as far as punting the football. And if you can get them backed up and force a punt like that, you're going to really secure great field position throughout the football game for your team.
So Georgia takes over after the Littleton punt. Keith Belton has to love the fact that his aggressive football team has this kind of field position. Start from the 21-yard line of Maryland in a 6-6 draw. Harrison Bailey in the shotgun. Flag before this one starts. Procedure on the offense.
And Randy, for a coach, really pre-snap penalties are the most frustrating thing. You figure guys should be able to get lined up. You're coming off of a change of possession, and you're going through your basic cadence. You got a little bit of motion, but you're expecting those guys to be able to execute a simple snap.
Bailey pressured, scrambling, picked off. Then dropped. It looked like Perry had the interception, couldn't hold it. And as he went to the ground, it got away from him, but a near interception. Harrison Bailey did a nice job of getting out of the pocket. He was chased by Christian Taylor.
Randy, I agree. Pressure up the middle right away, and he really extended that play, but he's got to be careful. Once you get outside of that box, you've got to be smart with the football. A throwaway is good as anything.
Again, that very easily could have been picked off by Dominic Perry, and in fact, it looked like it was an interception initially. Second down and 15. They run the football with Carter. Carter with balance. Carter with a touchdown. LaQuanta Carter. Beautiful run.
LaQuanta Carter, first carry of the football game, showing why maybe he should get a few more. Some speed off the edge and great athletic ability, hurdling the defender, coming down, keeping his balance, accelerating, and getting the 6 points for Georgia.
What was so impressive about the Carter run is how quickly he covered the ground. From A to B, he got there in a hurry. And it's a 12-6 lead for Georgia with 4:28 left before intermission. Travelstead will not kick it, can't do it. It's thrown up for grabs. And that'll end the play. You can't return it in youth football. But it's a 12-6 lead for Georgia.
And Carter's showing some speed that we haven't seen this game. And certainly maybe for Maryland, they've seen all year. Trying to contain a guy like that Georgia may have found a weapon here in the second quarter.
Officials conferring here, so we'll see if they're going to be a rule change or a penalty. Again, Mike Weiss overseeing matters. Wearing the white hat, he'll give us the indication. Offside on the defense of Maryland. Another opportunity for Georgia.
And a huge break because Georgia tried to dial up a little trick play there, tried to have the kicker throw the pass and try to get a 2-point conversion on it. They get away with the offsides penalty. Now Legatron's going to get another shot at this thing.
You love that nickname.
I really do. I like all nicknames, and you know why? Is because all my life I've been begging for one, and I never had one. And the rule on nicknames is you can't ask for one; it's just given to you. So all these years I've never had one.
All right, we're going to step out and try to think of a nickname for Matt DeRazio. When we return, it's 12-6. We'll see what happens on the PAT when we return. The national semifinals from FBU.
Introducing the Youth Football Coaches Association, the premier online resource dedicated to improving coaching effectiveness and promoting youth safety for all volunteers. Register free at yfbca.org and begin receiving free youth coaching information, monthly newsletters, certification, and background checks. The most up-to-date concussion information, drills for all positions and skill levels. Learn all types of offensive and defensive plays. Join us at yfbca.org, where we are making good coaches great teachers.
A 12-6 lead for Georgia. They're going to come back on. Don't know if they're going to kick it here after the penalty going from the 1.5 yard line. Perhaps they'll go for it, and I think they will. They'll line up. Looks like Dante Marshall in a Wildcat formation. Gives it. No, he doesn't. He keeps it and throws it into the end zone. No good. Ooh, I thought he was going to give it to Carter. And Carter would have got in.
Carter's the guy with speed who scored the touchdown, so we know we can get to the edge with speed. But Coach Belton wants a little play action, tries to throw it up in the corner of the end zone, and all done with a new quarterback. That was the first pass thrown there by Dante Marshall all day. So sometimes it's hard to come off the bench on a brisk day and make your first pass and overshot the receiver.
Dante Marshall is the guy they use in the Wildcat formation. He's the backup quarterback. Well, play was there for Carter had he handed it off to him. Well, Georgia will kick it off in a 12-6 lead for this team that's trying so desperately to get to the national finals in the 6th grade division. And they'll have a date, or could have a date, certainly with North Texas, who's waiting.
And I'm happy that Coach Keith Belton's got more patience than me. After those first 2 plays on offense, I'm already hitting the panic button because they got destroyed. And all of a sudden, momentum changed because of their defense, and now they've taken a strong lead.
Ravelstead to kick off. Good kick. That's great at youth football at this level to kick it that far downfield. The return by Clayton Batten again is out across the 25-yard line. And in youth football at this age bracket, that's not good field position. It's a pretty long field. You got to cover better than 70 yards, and that's not easy.
Yeah, I agree with you, Randy. As far as field position goes, I mean, the more yards they have to carry or go, really, the more opportunity for mistakes. And with the defense playing as aggressive as they are, as Georgia is, and really as confident as they are, because they've really bottled up this Maryland, this offense. Outside of the great field position they had inside the 5-yard line, Maryland hasn't done much at all.
And it took them 4 downs to get it in from there. Beautiful throw, pitch and catch. That got it done on that first group of downs. Now they're going to go back to the ground. Trying to establish the ground assault. They love Littleton, 32, the big back, the powerful back out of Laurel, Maryland. Picked up about 5 yards. It didn't look like there was a whole lot there, but when Littleton carries, he brings the pack with him.
Well, he's not a guy you can bring down with just one defender. You're going to have a team defense to stop him, and certainly the goal for Coach Keith Belton and his team is to stop him. They've contained him a little bit, but you're right, Randy, he can carry defenders with him.
He'll get it again. Left side, has some room. slices for an apparent first down. Antoine Littleton. And in this kind of game, he's the kind of back that can carry it a lot of times, and he can wear you down. He's a physically powerful running back who runs downhill.
Yeah, you're right, and he's the guy you want to keep feeding the football. So come third, fourth quarter, the defenses, they're really exhausted, and the offense and Littleton are really just gaining some momentum. But right now is something to think about if you're Maryland. You got 3 timeouts, clock is ticking, you're on the other side of the 50. You may want to think about a little sense of urgency and maybe some upbeat offense here as far as 2 minute goes.
12-6. Georgia on defense leading. Littleton trying to get to the perimeter and can't. That's wonderful defense by Isaiah Ratcliffe.
Unbelievable pursuit. We've seen it all day by this Georgia team, and it's just so impressive. We talked about really how tough it is to bring down Antoine Littleton with just one guy. Well, it was done right there, and it was done with great form and great technique.
Yeah, if Ratcliffe doesn't get to him there, he would have turned the corner and could have been a big game for Littleton. Clock running down to 2.5 minutes to play in the half. 2nd down, 9 for Maryland. Gotta be aware of Dominic Perry, that angular target. He's wide to the left side. For quarterback Trace Campbell, who's under duress. Can't get away, and down he goes. They infiltrated from inside and outside, and Asante Das with the tackle.
And Randy, instant pressure comes from the outside, and the delayed blitz up the middle is really what got the quarterback. And the thing about it is Trace Campbell made one guy miss. Great feet in the pocket, but with the way this defense has been pursuing, you've got to get rid of the football right away, make quick decisions. Otherwise, they're going to gobble you up.
3rd down and 10, under 2 minutes to play in the half. Here comes the red and white of Team Maryland. Georgia on defense, protecting a 12-6 lead. Campbell, punch down. Beautiful defensive effort by Dante Marshall. He did not allow Campbell to turn it upfield.
No, and it looked like Trace Campbell was going to have the corner, but Marshall accelerated right at the last minute, left his feet to make the tackle, and once again, the fundamentals from this defense in Georgia have really been superior in the difference in this ball game.
One thing we've learned in this first half, on 4th down, Maryland's going to go for it.
And after seeing that punt, and, to Littleton, and he can do quite a bit. He actually, I think, he can do just about everything, selling popcorn at halftime. But one thing he can't do is punt, so they're certainly going to go for it.
I hope he sells popcorn at halftime. He's got a buyer right here. I will purchase. We have a timeout called. This one by Georgia, hoping they can get the football back with 1:26 remaining. Georgia football team starting to take a little bit of control here late in the first half in our national semifinals. It's been a good football game to this point. Very enjoyable contest. Andy Rosenblum with Matt DeRazio, Tyler Olson on the sideline as well. I'm sure Tyler will have an interview for us as the teams go back to get instructions between the 2nd and 3rd quarter. Overall, take a look at this game. I sense that Georgia's picking up momentum, but certainly this is a very good Maryland team. But the problem, again, is these 4th down plays. When they don't convert them, they give up field position.
Yeah, and that's the key, putting yourself in position to convert and having a legitimate chance with the play call. Not just going for on 4th down to go for on 4th down, but really having a legitimate chance. And that really comes with their 1st and 2nd down plays and getting some plays and staying on schedule. And they have not been able to do that. And all the credit is to Georgia.
Well, here's the 4th down and 9 play. The one thing that this offense has not been able to do is convert these 4th downs. They've gone for it. And they have not been able to move the chains. Campbell rolling out of the pocket. And his throw is up for grabs and batted away. And again, the Georgia defense holds. Dante Marshall was there. He had assistance as well from Isaiah Ratcliffe.
Great job defensively by the whole secondary, just knocking the football away, not trying to go for an interception, not trying to be a hero, but doing the right thing that you've been coached to do is to knock the football away and don't give the receiver a chance to really get his hands in that football and make a huge play.
Yeah, we've seen the scenario before. Georgia takes over. Minute 17. The 38-yard line of Maryland. There's a strike. First down yardage to the 22. And it was Carter that made the grab.
You got a quarterback like Harrison Bailey, a sixth grader, throwing that kind of pass that far down the field with that much accuracy is very impressive. You get in your 2-minute offense, everybody hustles up, the chains move, and you get this offense rolling.
They line LaQuanta Carter up in the slot. When he ran it, he came around and made the big touchdown run. Here he's outside making another catch. And Carter showing us skills to run it and catch it in this second quarter.
You know, I'm wondering why Coach Belton was holding back on Carter. He's obviously in this second quarter been the game changer with his speed and balance, and now showing some hands on the edge there, making a nice play. I mean, he may be the offensive player of the game so far in terms of what he's done to spark this offense.
It really has been a spark in this quarter. And with 63 seconds left in the half, Georgia's threatening. Here's that end around to Carter. This time, Maryland's waiting for him. Jordan Anderson, number 4, sticks his helmet into the belly of Carter.
And now Maryland defensively has been challenged, and they're trying to make plays themselves. Good team pursuit right there, good tackle for a loss, and that's what you expect out of this defense, as we've seen all through the tournament. Strong, disciplined defense.
Bailey being pressured by Perry. He's sacked back at the 25, back to the 30-yard line as he goes down. Dominic Perry with a huge defensive play in the final 20 seconds of the half.
Huge play by Perry. Certainly got to give him credit, but Harrison broke the golden rule there as a quarterback. Know the situation. Get rid of that football. Don't go backwards and give up the sack. Give up the throwaway. Get ready to play third down and don't worry about getting yourself and your team out of scoring position.
Especially with no timeouts, they're not going to get the play off. They're letting him go at this stage. There's all zeros on the clock. It doesn't matter because Perry got to him. What a performance by Dominic Perry in the final 30 seconds of the half. And really, that was a bonus play because that play really should not have occurred. The clock had already gone down to triple zeros. And I don't know that play would have counted had it been converted. Either way, it's Georgia 12 and Team Maryland 6 in a good first half.
It really was a very competitive football game. Both teams should be happy, so they did some good things. They have a half to make those adjustments, and they're going to come out fighting. It's going to be a good first half, certainly going to be even better second half.
Really, teams now got a feel for one another. They know what they're up against. We've seen some stars develop here. Certainly this Perry is a tremendous football player. Dominic Perry, 89 for Team Maryland. And we've seen some greatness on the other side for Team Georgia as well. Guys making plays. To the sideline, and Tyler Olson.
A whole lot of offense, 42-0. It was a blowout. This is a little bit different. There's some hitting going on out there. It's a closer game. What have you been seeing so far?
A lot of tenacious hitting, very aggressive from both sides. And we're just really trying to get the kinks out. We had a long bus ride.
And the offense obviously was getting it going towards the end. Unfortunately, weren't able to punch it in. What does this team have to do to make sure that they come out with a victory here in the second half?
Just stay on the blocks. We stay on our blocks, we'll be fine.
Coach Anthony Hall, we're going to send it to break. We'll be back right after this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
My journey to the pros was kind of different than a lot of people's, and I knew the challenges were against me, but I've always liked being the underdog in life. Hi, I'm Dane Fletcher, linebacker for the New England Patriots. For more on me, check out eastbay.com/Dane Fletcher.
Okay, let's see it.
Once you see what FBU video training can do for your game, you won't want to stop. Football University Video Training. Turn it on.
Is he okay?
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting nominations for its nationwide camps. We teach cutting-edge techniques, drills, and mental aspects of the game to increase your football IQ and make you a better player. Our instructors are current and former NFL coaches, the same coaches that train today's NFL stars. FBU is by invitation only, so score an invite today at footballuniversity.org.
Cecil Martin here again from NCSA Athletic Recruiting. It is crucial that you are proactive in the recruiting process at a young age. Make sure you don't sit back and let this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity pass you by. Visit our website to educate yourself on the vital steps that you need to take to make your dream become a reality.
I try to just be the guy who's clutch at the end of the game. When the game's on the line, I want to be the guy with the ball with 2 minutes left. And I think more than anything, I just try to visualize myself being successful. Russell Wilson, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. Check me out on eastbay.com/Russell Wilson.
I've been playing chess since I was 9 years old. It helps me anticipate my opponent's next move. Chess prepares my mind for battle. Because victory requires my strength, my speed, and my intelligence. My name is Ray Rice, and I'm an enlightened warrior.
Introducing the Youth Football Coaches Association, the premier online resource dedicated to improving coaching effectiveness and promoting youth safety for all volunteers. Register free at yfbca.org and begin receiving free youth coaching information, monthly newsletters, certification, and background checks. The most up-to-date concussion information, drills for all positions and skill levels. Learn all types of offensive and defensive plays. Join us at yfbca.org, where we are making good coaches great teachers.
Arguing with each other earlier.
Maryland scored first to begin this game and open up a 6-0 lead, but the last 2 touchdowns of the first half went to Team Georgia. Long play, a touchdown reception from Isaiah Lee of 50 yards, a terrific run by LaQuanta Carter of 27 yards and a strike. That first touchdown for Maryland was a great catch by Dominic Perry in the end zone, an 11-yard touchdown, and that's how Maryland scored first. As you can see, we're closing in on the beginning of the second half. Randy Rosenblum with Matt DeRazio. And Matt, what do you expect in the back half?
I'll tell you what, basically at this point, both teams have felt each other out at a half of football. Maryland is used to running the football with a lot of success. And for the most part, Antoine Littleton has been bottled up. So expect them with a whole half of football and really only down 1 score. Expect them to really feed Littleton and try to establish him. You mentioned he's a big kid, tough to bring down, power runner, try to wear down this Georgia defense. If you're Georgia and you're coming out, you're feeling pretty good about yourself, especially defensively. You've got the turnover, you got the interception. You've held this team to 54 yards total offense in Maryland, and you're feeling very confident. If they can still swarm defensively and not turn that football over on the offensive side of the ball, they're going to have a great chance to advance and play North Texas.
We'll say this, Team Georgia's defense was mighty impressive in that first half, and they gave up yards grudgingly. The only score that Maryland was able to get was after a high snap, a shortened field, and it was even difficult because the touchdown was on a 4th down. It was a 4th down pass from Campbell to Perry. As you see them line up for the second half, Georgia's going to kick the football off. Brock Travelstead has it teed up, or is trying to tee it up. It's a little breezy out there right now. And we'll see what Team Maryland can do. Certainly a touchdown and a conversion, they could take the lead here. Glad you're with us for our national semifinal in the 6th grade division. Music playing very loud here at Wheatley Stadium. The fans that are here are into it. And the return by Johnson to the 27-yard line.
And this is really where they have to come out. You've got Coach Leo Minus for Team Maryland. You know, he's very well schooled. He's taught these guys well fundamentally, put them in the right spot. But he's got a great quarterback in Trace Campbell who can lead this team. But his running back, Antoine Littleton, has got to be the focal point and really try to grind him out and get him yards.
Looks like they may be kicking off again. We had a penalty. Offside on Georgia. And so an opportunity for Maryland to return it, get better field possession, perhaps maybe even break even a bigger play and just better field position. Maybe they can break it for a touchdown. Maybe Jordan Anderson, number 4, will take it the distance. He is dangerous. They did take the 15 seconds off the clock. So with 9:45 left in the third, we begin again. It's Johnson again. And he's 5 yards further upfield to the 33.
And Legatron has been very impressive there to have 2 big kicks and really try to switch the field, because we've seen in 2.5 games now, majority of these kickoff teams are just squibbing it, maybe even onside kicking and giving up a lot of field position. With Legatron, he can move the defense back and the offense back and give his defense a comfortable place to really start the game.
Campbell and the offense back out there for Maryland, starting from their 34. Littleton up the middle. There he goes. Antoine Littleton. Touchdown. 66 yards.
There's no doubt Littleton was definitely the focus of the halftime and coming out in the second half, getting the football. One carry really catches Georgia off guard. Offensive line opens up a nice seam, and Littleton does the rest. Shows some speed, but at the end here, he's got the stiff arm, the push, and the finish.
Kashawn Robinson was chasing but could never get to him. And Antoine has given his team the lead. This Antoine Littleton is terrific on both sides of the football. And now an opportunity for the advantage for Team Maryland at a 12-12 tie. What a start in the second half for Team Maryland. Delay a game will cost him 5. Boy, they are good to the media here, I'll tell you that. We're in the press box. They just delivered me 5 sandwiches, Matt. I don't know how we're going to eat them during the game, but how about hospitality? Speaking of hospital, players might feel like they're in the hospital the way they're hitting it up today with the tremendous tackling and furious hitting. And Perry brings in another one. He reels it in. And Maryland gets the 2-point conversion and leads 14-12.
Huge 2-point conversion. I love the call there by Coach Leo Minus. Trace Campbell throwing the corner out to the tallest guy in the field, Dominic Perry, 6'1", 180 pounds. Guy can play DN, can play tight end, obviously, but they spread him out there, went one-on-one. Well-thrown football, huge 2-point conversion.
We'll take a timeout at Wheatley Stadium. Your new score is Team Maryland 14, Georgia 12, 9:25 left, third quarter. This is the national semifinals from FBU.
My journey to the pros was kind of different than a lot of people's, and I knew the challenges were against me, but I've always liked being the underdog in life. Hi, I'm Dane Fletcher, linebacker for the New England Patriots. For more on me, check out eastbay.com/Dane Fletcher.
Okay, let's see it.
Once you see what FBU video training can do for your game, you won't want to stop. Football University video training. Turn it on.
Turn the worm as far as momentum goes.
That short onside kick. Picked up by Robinson. Robinson still on his feet. Penalty markers are down, and finally he is dropped at the 46. Tell you this, Kashawn Robinson of Team Georgia, very active all over the field, 17 today for the men in green and white. We've had more flags in this semifinal than we had in our first one, which was such a clean game. But this one is certainly more competitive. Holds going against Georgia on the return.
And, you know, Maryland, obviously special teams-wise, we've seen they have trouble punting, but their kickoffs, they don't use a tee. They lay the ball flat on its side on the ground, and they try the little squib kick and hope for some misdirection. But you'll see Robinson trying to make something happen. Just when you make something happen, you switch fields sometimes this many times, what happens is guys start grabbing and pulling, and you get called for a holding, and that's exactly what happened.
But Kashawn Robinson is entertaining, fleet of foot with the infraction that takes the ball back to the 31-yard line. Harrison Bailey, it's his turn. See if his offense can get going. Passing it near side to Bright. Positive play out near the 38-yard line, perhaps the 39-yard line. Taryue Bright with the catch.
And as a quarterback, I love that play call. It's a nice, easy pitch and catch. Nobody's in the throwing lane. Receivers out just to the side of you. It's like a long handoff, and it's a positive play on first down.
Second down and 3. Wanted Carter. Well defended. 3 Maryland players in the area, led by Trace Campbell. Yes, the same Trace Campbell who's the quarterback now in the secondary for Team Maryland.
Yeah, and sometimes as a quarterback, when you play defensive back, you have an advantage because you know what the quarterback's thinking. And what happened there was Georgia tried to go from one play to the next, setting up one and then pump faking the next one. And really, Maryland was not fooled at all. They stayed on it and didn't go for the double move.
3rd and 3. Too tall on that pass for Isaiah Lee. Yes, Isaiah's back. He's the one that caught the 50-yard touchdown in the first half. But Maryland's defense forces a 4th down. It'll be 4th down and 3.
Yeah, good news and bad news on that one is Lee is back in the football game for Georgia, so they got to be happy about that. Unfortunately, ball was way too high for him really to have a chance to catch that.
They're going for it on 4th and a long 3. And another miscalculation there as they tried to snap the ball. Mike Weiss, our lead referee, has been busy today. Sunshine today in San Antonio, Texas. Temperatures in the mid-50s. The wind starting to kick up. It was very cool earlier today. Happy to be in the mid-50s. Offside defense. Maryland just gave away a 1st down.
And one thing that's rarely used is the hard count. And that's what Harrison Bailey went to on 4th and short, went with the hard count. Everybody held their water on offense, got the defensive line to jump, the guy right in front of the ball. And that's huge because you get the 1st down, you don't have to run a play.
Right up the middle. Stokes surveys the land in front of him and takes it out across the 45 to the 48-yard line. Number 21 there. Very solid running back, Jared Stokes. And Georgia down by 2 here. Very early in the 3rd quarter. Haven't played 2 minutes. Maryland's already scored a touchdown. On a long touchdown gallop by their brilliant running back, Antoine Littleton. Carter on the fly sweep. LaQuanta Carter diving for a 1st down. I like him. Everything he does is positive.
Yeah, what's not to like? A guy that has played his role. First quarter didn't do much. 2nd quarter was the spark, and you see here showing some speed on the edge as he is. But you got to take your hat off to Coach Belton, really mixing it up offensively, staying balanced, mixing some run in, mixing some screen, and also mixing the pass there with Harrison Bailey.
And Bailey again looking to go up top. Can't get the pass away. Well, Team Maryland would not let Bailey throw the football. Gregory Johnson got to him.
Yeah, and just too much pressure. And sometimes you get the pressure up front and you think it's the defensive line that's bringing pressure, but really pressure comes from the secondary, covering those receivers. Nowhere for you to go as a quarterback. Harrison Bailey's got to hold it an extra second. All of a sudden, the big sack.
Hear the Maryland coaches in the next booth over yelling out screen. That's what they expect to see from Georgia. Not going to be a screen. It'll be a run with Jordan Simmons. Inside the 45. Simmons is dropped by the other Jordan and the other number 4, Jordan Anderson. So 1-4 takes down another. One Jordan bringing another Jordan to the ground.
And I like the call there. Jordan Simmons, we haven't seen much of him this entire football game, but he gets the underneath handoff. He knows where he needs to go, north and south. Get some yards back here to make it 3rd and manageable. And in this scenario, it's a 4-down territory.
3rd down and 8 after the 7-yard run. There's a pass and a completion. A diving grab, beautifully done. Tanner Bentley with the catch. Ball thrown low to the ground where only the receiver could get it.
How about Bentley going down and grabbing it? Unbelievable play by him, and the focus as he's going to the ground, locates the football and hauls it in.
And the Georgia fans eat it up as they have the first down. With 6 minutes to play in the quarter, a timeout called. Georgia looking to reclaim the lead. Down by a deuce at 14-12 in a good football game at Wheatley Stadium in San Antonio, Texas. We will take a commercial timeout.
Okay.
The lead is 2 for Maryland, but Georgia is driving.
Once you see
this
what
is the semifinals presented by FBU in the 6th grade division.
My journey to the pros was kind of different than a lot of people's, and I knew the challenges were against me, but I've always liked being the underdog in life. Hi, I'm Dane Fletcher, linebacker for the New England Patriots. For more on me, check out eastbay.com/Dane Fletcher.
Well, Georgia's storming back down the field, trying to get that advantage back. After Maryland struck on the long touchdown run from Antoine Littleton. Georgia's inside the 30-yard line, down to the 29 of Team Maryland. Got a lot of conferences here today, a lot of these young guys. And again, you almost forget that they're 11 and 12 years of age, and they ask for explanations. And you can see that there's more communication between the officials and the players at this age group.
Yeah, there really is. And we've talked about this. Is these players in 6th grade, they're in tune with what's going on. They're picking up offenses that, back when we played, Randy, I mean, they were just turning around handing the football off and don't mess it up. Now they got a real complicated. They're spreading out. They got formations, and it's very sophisticated.
When we played with leather helmets. Here's Carter coming to the near side, and LaQuanta looking for an opening, and he's got it. LaQuanta Carter, first down and a brilliant run. This kid, every time he has touched it, has turned it upfield and made things happen.
And the one thing you knew, when Georgia was going to go down, when they went down, go down by 2 points, they were not going to panic. This is a team that has been there before. It's been a long road for them, and their leader, Keith Belton, their head coach, knows that if you just keep your foot on the gas pedal and keep persistent, you're going to have a chance to stay in this football game, and they're doing it on this drive.
Carter again. Tripped up. That's terrific defense on the outside. Marquise Cooper. Well, in the open field, it's not easy to bring him down.
No, it's not. And Cooper, 4'5", 100 pounds, coming up from that defensive position. I mean, making that play in space, that's a great play defensively.
They're working Carter. Why not? Well, he's not going to go for him, but you got to love the effort. He ran into 3 of the red and white on defense, but LaQuanta tried to move it forward, but that time he was denied. Third down and 9. Down to 4:40 left in the third quarter. Maryland on defense, leading by 2 at 14-12. Pass, end zone, Bentley, touchdown. Tanner Bentley, who made that great grab earlier on the drive, culminates the drive on the strike from quarterback Harrison Bailey.
And actually, I think that was Dante Marshall they subbed in that gave the look that they were going to run the Wildcat. He ends up throwing the pass, which is a great technique where you think the defense thinks because they sub in the Wildcat quarterback, they're not going to throw the football. Bentley gets wide open. Great throw, great catch, 6 points.
Great result, 18-14 for Georgia. They'd like to get the 2 here and build the lead back to 6. And it is Dante Marshall at quarterback. Carter running wide, gets in, stumbling forward after he was hit by Trace Campbell. But Carter was not to be denied, and Georgia leads by 20-14.
And Randy, how about that answer? You go down, give up the first play of the second half, get the ball back, and offensively they show up and move the ball down the field methodically. And at the very end, they sub in the quarterback and throw it over the top for the big 6.
And what you love here is the resolve of both teams. You know, you see Maryland make the changes that they deem necessary coming out of the locker room, and they get the ball to their workhorse, Antoine Littleton, and he races upfield for a touchdown. And then Georgia comes right back down the field with a nice blend of plays, and then they feature LaQuanta Carter, who finishes off the drive with some good first down runs, and then the touchdown, as you said, over the top to Tanner Bentley. And it's Georgia's turn to kick off in a back-and-forth third quarter, a back-and-forth football game in San Antonio, Texas. Legatron doing the chores again. There's that strong leg. Kicking it over the head of Batten. Batten picks it up near the goal line. Fearless. It's going to be a long field for Team Maryland.
And we knew Legatron was going to be a weapon at some point, and here's where he comes up big. Kicks it over the head of all the returners. Ball nestles its way down into the corner, and the team pursues the ball carrier so well, traps him inside the 5, and talk about a huge play from a special teams perspective. Big-time play for Georgia.
Well, just moments ago, it seemed Maryland had a 14-12 lead. Georgia not only gets the touchdown and the 2. Now Team Maryland is pinned back at their 4-yard line. A long field. Let's see what the red and white does. Trace Campbell's certainly capable of making things happen. The number 32 is in his backfield. That's Littleton. And this is Antoine Littleton again. Down the sideline. See you later. Touchdown. How about 96 yards?
2 carries, 2 touchdowns. And unlike Georgia's answer, this one's a little quicker.
Talk about padding your stats. Touchdown runs of 66 and 96 in the third quarter. And you can see him fly down the sideline. His name is Antoine Littleton.
Randy, he's got speed, but the thing is he's got power because the defenders are catching up with him, but he's got the ability to just stiff arm guys and really just push them down and make them no factor at all.
Knock on your neighbor's door. Tell everyone around you, we got a great one in San Antonio. It is even at 20 apiece with a point pending. It looks like, again, they're going to go for 2. 20-20 draw, 2:45 left. And the clock is running, and it really shouldn't be, and that's why the officials are waving the play dead for the time being. They have to rectify the clock situation.
Unbelievable. We mentioned, we both thought for Maryland, the goal was to establish the running game with Littleton. The thing about it is, we thought maybe he'd, 3 yards here, 6 yards here, 10 yards here, not just breakaway speed and power. And he's shown it on 2 carries.
From the organizers' standpoint, when you talk about FBU and their wonderful football camps and this national championship division, this is the first year of the 6th grade division. You come out here and you see a blowout in the game 1, North Texas over Oregon 42-0. You never like to see that. This game is what it's all about. You come to the semifinals, you are in a hotly contested battle. 2 teams showing national championship caliber trying to get there. This is a great showcase for the 6th grade division.
It really is, especially because of the fundamentals and technique that's being displayed. And I've had the pleasure as a quarterback coach and instructor to see these guys up close in the regional camps where you see them develop. You see them develop in the camp, and then you see it on the field where it comes to life. And it's just a great thing as the camps translate to the competition. Can
they grab the lead here? Going for 2. One would imagine after that break in the action, Littleton might be the guy again. And again, they haven't fixed the clock, and we have a timeout. They ran time off about 30 seconds, ran off the clock while the play was down. It's kind of odd, but that's okay. These players not worried about it. We're even at 20 apiece. We have a timeout called by Maryland. We will take the timeout with them. It's 20 all. 2-point conversion is next. Team Maryland and Team Georgia, and a good one. The FBU National Semifinals.
My journey to the pros was kind of different than a lot of people's, and I knew the challenges were against me, but I've always liked being the underdog in life. Hi, I'm Dane Fletcher, linebacker for the New England Patriots. For more on me, check out eastbay.com/Dane Fletcher.
Cecil Martin here again from NCSA Athletic Recruiting. It is crucial that you are proactive in the recruiting process at a young age. Make sure you don't sit back and let this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity pass you by. Visit our website to educate yourself on the vital steps that you need to take to make your dream become a reality.
Randy Roosevelt, Matt DeRazio, Tyler Olson on the sideline. Glad you're with us from San Antonio, Texas. And I know you're glad to be viewing this one because it is a duel in the Lone Star State. 20 is our deadlock. Here come the Maryland team trying to wrestle away the advantage. Campbell being pursued. Lobbing it up, Robinson intercepts it, and the play's dead. So we'll remain at 20 apiece.
Campbell was trying to do everything he could to make something happen, and on this type of play, that's exactly what you do. You don't worry about throwing an interception. You've got to get the ball out of your hands, and hopefully somebody can make a play. But Robinson, he's been all over the field, by the way. Offensively and defensively, he's made some great plays.
Notice that the score is even. If we end up in a tie, it's college rules in the overtime, but they start from the 10 rather than the 25. A little bit different wrinkle, and could be very interesting. That's a long way off. Still have 3:20 left in the third, the whole fourth quarter to play. But just a thought, maybe tempt you a little bit of a tease there that maybe we will have an overtime down the road.
Well, you know what? That's certainly a good tease. The only thing is, if Antoine Littleton gets another carry, he's thinking, I'm going to go 3 for 3, and then he's putting more points on the board.
Yeah, but there's LaQuanta Carter on the other side who's not shabby either.
You know what? It's one of those deals is you do something, I can do it better, and maybe it'll come down to who has the ball last. In a sport I got to play a little bit was arena football, and that was typically the case. Who can hold serve and score, and who could get maybe that one stop defensively. And Georgia defensively in that first half proved they can stop this team. Now in the second half, they haven't tackled so well.
Yeah, that really is a credit to Team Maryland being able to get their running game going. And as great as Littleton is, he's getting help up front from the big guys. Here's that short kick, and it's covered by Kelly Etheridge. Make that Colin Etheridge. We want to get his first name correct. It's Colin Etheridge, number 50, who covered the football with 3:18 to play in the third. Right on the 50-yard line. Runs the offense. We've seen Dante Marshall come in and run that wildcat, and it appears that's what they're going to do here.
Yeah, they're going to stick with him. He had the touchdown pass last possession, and I don't know if Harrison Bailey is hurt or they're just trying to maybe throw in a little wrinkle and change things up because of the success that Dante Marshall had. But either way, it puts Maryland in a position where they've got to defend the wildcat.
They also have to defend Carter, who's back there with them. So they've changed the formations. And here's Carter. LaQuanta Carter hit at the 50-yard line. Broke one tackle, broke the tackle of Trace Campbell. Never really got him to the ground. He's out of bounds. Boy, he is a tough kid, LaQuanta Carter. Finally, Connor Shepard pushed him out of bounds. Boy, that is a tough, physical running back.
Yeah, 5'5", 135 pounds. Known on this team really as the best overall athlete. And we didn't get to see much of him in the first quarter, but he's certainly coming on strong and becoming the guy that's carrying this team here in the second and third quarters.
2:40 remains in the third. Second down and 11. Carter lost a half a yard. Backward pass. Lee can throw it. It's a double pass. Bentley was available, but he was just too strong with that throw, Isaiah Lee. And Lee bent over, knows he had Bentley available, and just missed him.
A little trickeration. Lee, one receiver to another Bentley. Those guys are always an individual together. They play together. And when you get a chance to complete it to your buddy, who's another receiver, you got to hit him. And sometimes it's hard when you're that wide open. You don't get that many throws. You know, Lee's a good athlete. He should make that throw.
Yeah, just glaring down at Isaiah Lee, looking at him. He knows he should have had it, but again, Isaiah made a huge play earlier when he made that catch and run of 50 yards for a score. He's a quality athlete. He was shaken up, and it's great to see him back out on the field. Marshall, and we know he can run, has 5, has 10, has 15. Give him a first down. Dante Marshall.
And Keith Belton is all in. So you mix things up, and Harrison Bailey's had a good football game, but they make the switch. They make the switch right now at quarterback, and Dante Marshall brings a little bit different element where he can run the football. Nobody on the whole right side of the field. He recognizes that right away, uses his wheels, and picks up a first down.
Yeah, Dante Marshall got out of that pocket in a hurry, and you have to like the fact that he made the decision to go when he saw the room. Didn't hesitate, didn't look for a receiver, just went for it and picked up 15. Now they'll work Jordan Simmons. And Jordan Simmons has a chunk inside the 25-yard line where Littleton brings him down.
I like when Jordan Simmons carries the football. There's no nonsense about it. He carries that football nice and high and tight, good fundamentals that, you know, obviously he's learned at an FBU football camp, and he gets north and south right away. And I love the way, you know, when he gets the ball, he makes the most of each carry.
And they'll work Simmons again. Jordan bouncing to the outside with a flag down. He turns it upfield. He gets into the end zone, but you get the feeling all along this one's coming back. And this will be disappointment for Georgia. Flag was behind the play, and Maryland knows they're going to get a reprieve.
And Randy, sometimes 10-yard runs turn into touchdowns because guys block on the perimeter. And right here, as you can see from the official, it wasn't blocking, it was holding. And what happens is those guys in the perimeter don't get as much practice. They always want to catch the football, but a big part of playing receiver and playing on the edge is being able to block and do it the right way.
Matt, what's happened here in the third quarter where suddenly these offenses can't be stopped on either side?
Well, you know what it is even when you start camp day one, no matter who you are, defenses usually pick things up right away. It takes a little bit longer for the offenses. And in this case, there's no difference. Now the offenses are clicking.
Marshall on that quarterback draw. That'll bring up a second down and a dozen. Good to be alongside Matt DeRazio. Good guy, former outstanding quarterback. I know you played at Youngstown State, played in the Arena League. You love the quarterbacks we're seeing here. I'm Randy Rosenblum as they give it off, and Simmons is turned inside out. They hunker down on defense. Good tackle by Jordan Anderson. Again, those fours collide. On to 40 seconds left in the third stanza. Dante Marshall taking over at quarterback for Team Georgia, trying to engineer another score. Here's a throw to the inside, incomplete, and nearly intercepted. Cooper was the closest to the football, and he represents Team Maryland. All right, here we go. It's fourth down, and Georgia apparently is going to go for it.
And they're kind of in no man's land right here. There's no sense in punting it. And although they're fourth and long here, you know, this is a time and place where you got to go for it and take a shot.
Final 27 seconds of the quarter. Reverse. Lee gets thrown down. Jordan Anderson, who's made so many big plays today, comes up with another big hit for Team Maryland.
Jordan Anderson is on his 4th and 5th sacks now. He's trying to get half a dozen, and he's an absolute impact player on the defensive side of the ball, is not fooled with any kind of misdirection, stays home and does his job and does it well.
Final 19 ticks of the third quarter, and Team Maryland, who's had the ball twice in this third quarter and seen Antoine Littleton gallop for long touchdowns, gets it back. Flag down before Littleton can go forward. Well, they're going to feed Littleton until Georgia can stop him. A participation infraction against Georgia. It'll be 1st and 5. Final 15 seconds of the third quarter. Each side with 20. This duel in San Antonio. Littleton, first down and much more to the 41-yard line of Georgia.
Ripped off for 15 yards, but for Team Georgia, they got to be pretty excited that it wasn't a touchdown. They at least contained him, and I think the reason why is they used the out of bounds as another defender, push him out of bounds. Otherwise, this is a man on a mission right now and running with a lot of purpose and a lot of steam here, Antoine Littleton.
Antoine Littleton is taking over this football game. This figures to be the final play of the third quarter. 6 seconds remain. Another procedure call against Team Maryland. It came from the side judge. Well, the red and white, when they execute, they get chunk plays. They may need one here because they're looking at 1st and 15. Final play of the third quarter. And they bottle up Antoine Littleton for one of the rare times, and certainly the first time in the second half. We've come to the end of 3 quarters at the Wheatley Heights Sports Complex in San Antonio. Your score is Georgia 20 and Maryland 20. The final 10 minutes to decide it is next. These are the National Championship semifinals presented by FBU.
I've been playing chess since I was 9 years old. It helps me anticipate my opponent's next move. Chess prepares my mind for battle. Because victory requires my strength, my speed, and my intelligence. My name is Ray Rice, and I'm an enlightened warrior.
Maryland line up and ready to go. The fourth quarter commences with an Antoine Littleton run. And in the open field, he's taken down beautifully by Isaiah Radcliffe.
Radcliffe has held his own in that linebacker position as well. He's kind of gone head-to-head on both sides of the football with Littleton. And they've kind of shared some battles here. And right there, Radcliffe certainly wins as he scrapes, comes downhill, and makes a nice fundamentally sound tackle.
We'll watch that clock carefully. Keep in mind these are 10-minute quarters, and they go quicker in youth football. Third down, 10. Ball resting at the 41-yard line of Georgia. Littleton again. How many carries in a row has it been for Antoine? He took a pretty good pop, but he did get some good yardage there. It was Kashawn Robinson again that drilled him. It's going to bring up a 4th down at about 5 to go.
Well, Antoine Littleton's got 15 carries on the game, 233 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So there's no reason not to give it to him. And this is a guy, because of his size and because of his strength, as you come into the 4th quarter, he becomes stronger and he wears down the defense, and that's why you just keep feeding him the rock.
4th down, 5.5. Team Maryland for the conversion. Bootleg, quarterback keep. Great call. Late flag. Campbell has the yardage. What's the flag for? I love that call.
Great call, a little misdirection. Everybody thinks Littleton's getting the ball. How about Campbell putting on the brakes, knowing where the sticks are, and getting that extra yards to get the 1st down.
And a face mask against Georgia. More real estate for Team Maryland. Team Maryland is threatening. Ball just inside the 15 of Georgia. Clock resumes as we approach 8 minutes left. Most of the fans standing here, looking on, exhorting their respective teams on. You know where the ball's going. They're feeding the monster, and that monster is Antoine Littleton. Tyreek Jones with the stop.
One thing that this Georgia defense has shown all game is when you get inside the red zone, they really toughen up. They bend a little bit, but they don't break. And this is where they come up. They get 9 and 10 guys inside the box, knowing that Littleton's going to get the football. As soon as that ball's snapped, they're pursuing to the football.
But will it be Littleton, or will they cross him up and maybe go to Jordan Simmons, number 4, who's so good? He's in the backfield with Littleton. They pitch it back to Antoine Littleton. Slices inside the 10-yard line. In the open field, a nice tackle again by Isaiah Radcliffe, who's made so many of those today.
Yeah, going head-to-head, Radcliffe versus Littleton. And Littleton, you can see, even hands on his hips, maybe he's wearing down just a little bit as with as many carries as he's had and as many long runs as he's broken off, and playing both sides of the football. He normally gets stronger, but it's been a long day for him, and he's taking quite a pounding.
3rd down and 3. Obviously, everything is 4-down territory for Team Maryland, and now they have field position on their side. Pitch it back. Littleton inside the 5-yard line. Cameron Eccles denied Littleton a touchdown, but a nice effort here by this burly running back.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Leo Minus, obviously your goal is to feed the ball to Littleton. You may want to take a timeout right here, maybe give him a chance to catch his breath, maybe even discuss something. You can tell he's wearing down just a little bit. He's bent over, he's maybe not there, but you still got to feed it to him.
And he still picked up the 1st down, so it's 1st down and goal at the 4-yard line. Littleton, right up the middle, walks in. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the 2nd half. Who needs a rest? My name is Antoine Littleton. I don't rest. I score touchdowns.
And Randy, you mentioned it earlier. A lot of credit has got to be given to those guys up front. That offensive line is creating scenes for Antoine Littleton to go through, and there he went through untouched into the end zone.
So it is Maryland that takes the lead and goes for 2, 26-20. Littleton again pushing the pile. Can he get in? No. Denied. It's only a 6-point lead. That's a key stop for Team Georgia.
It really is, especially with over 6 minutes left in this quarter in the game. And your offense really has been moving the ball and feeling confident, especially with the new quarterback, Dante Marshall. So, if you're Coach Keith Belton for Georgia, you can talk to your guys and say, hey, we've put 20 points on the board. We got to go down there, get 6 more, and give ourselves a chance to get that 2-point conversion and maybe even go to Legatron to win this thing.
Again, I just admire the work of FBU and how they have schooled these young players, mostly 11 and 12-year-old players here, and they are so good at understanding the situation, and that gets us back to FBU and what they've been able to accomplish with these young, talented athletes.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, being an instructor and you see these guys in the field, you almost feel like a proud papa because you teach.
Well, you're old enough to be their grandpapa, right?
I certainly, yeah, both of us could be, but you see them
further removed than that.
But you see them out in the field coming from a camp to this, and there is no doubt in my mind there is no better camp for youth football than FBU, where you go out there and you get the best instruction, the best technique, and then you can apply it to the football field.
Well, Team Georgia wants to come back down the field with Walker on the return. And again, they'll start near the 50-yard line. Well, Team Maryland can't sleep on a 6-point lead. Georgia has that ability to strike. Final 6 minutes of the game. Second half, certainly the offensives have opened up and been able to move it. Harrison Bailey's back in to engineer this drive. Number 13 at quarterback, Jordan Simmons, gets nearly 5 yards. In fact, we're going to give him 5 yards, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 5 for Georgia.
Team Georgia's really been spreading around as far as who's going to carry the football, mixing it up at quarterback. I mean, Coach Belton's keeping this Maryland defense on their heels, and he's doing a good job mixing it up and giving everybody some touches.
Well, he's mixed it up at quarterback with Dante Marshall and Harrison Bailey. Here's the end around to Carter. This broke for him earlier in the game, and LaQuanta Carter did a wonderful job of staying in bounds and takes it down to the 15-yard line. 1st down, Georgia.
Carter is a nifty runner. It looks like he's not going to get many yards as he gets to the edge here, but his patience, and he waits for those blocks on the perimeter, then he accelerates, and all the yards after contact are just a bonus.
Great to watch these two running backs battle. Antoine Littleton and LaQuanta Carter. Simmons, Jordan Simmons, 1st and goal. A gain of 12.5 yards for Jordan Simmons.
Georgia's wasting no time here on the answer. They're moving right down the field, and their defensives have just got to be getting worn down. You know, we haven't seen much of Simmons in the first half. Second half, he has come on. I mentioned, I love where he carries that football, 2 hands as you're making contact, getting out of bounds and getting as many yards as you can.
All the way down to the 2-yard line. There's a timeout. Maryland trying to regroup on defense. Georgia's storming back down the field. Maryland clinging to a 26-20 lead. Exactly 5 minutes left. This has the feel, I mentioned overtime earlier, but it also has the feel of the game where you want to have the ball last, because that could determine who wins or loses the game.
And that may be, there's no doubt about it, Randy, and that may be what the thought process is right here. You know, as you're going in to score, you're thinking, oh my goodness, are we scoring too quickly? And Maryland's thinking, we got to save a little bit of time so we can move down the field. The good news for both teams is they have guys on their team that can score in one play. And, instant offense, and obviously the one guy who's shown it all night is Antoine Littleton.
Well, Georgia down 6, but inside the 5 at the 2-yard line. Simmons is the I-back. They bring in a big lineman to block in front of him, so it's going to be the Simmons carry. And he goes nowhere. That's great defense. Perry was there to help make the tackle. Jordan Anderson was there as well, and he's been all over the football field on defense today for Team Maryland. 2nd down and goal. Play fake. Touchdown. Beautifully done, Dante Marshall.
Another play action pass, naked bootleg right there. And Dante Marshall has the option to run it or pass it and does the correct thing, keeps it, runs in. Nobody's home. Make sure you get the 6.
Team Maryland bought on the fake to Jordan Simmons. And it made life so much easier, so much simpler for Dante Marshall on the perimeter. Now the all-important PAT for Brock Travelstead. Legatron for the lead, and it's blocked. Then we're even at 26. Storming through was Christian Taylor, and he's an excited young man, and we remain even.
A different level there defensively up front. Great job with the penetration. Legatron had no chance.
Let's go to the sideline and our wonderful reporter today, Tyler Olson.
All right, thanks, guys. It's time for our player spotlight here as we get down towards the end of the game. And, of course, it's no one other than Antoine Littleton. How about a final stat update for you now? 21 carries, 243 yards, 3 scores. And for a guy that just started playing running back this year, I think the future's pretty bright. That's what the national championship's all about, putting guys on the map. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Tyler. We have a good one going. 26 apiece. The winner gets North Texas. Sunday morning, you have to be in the Alamo Dome for that one, for the national championship of the 6th grade division, if, of course, you live in the area. But we'll invite you even if you're from outside. Come on to San Antonio. Weather's great. So are these championships. Short kick, fielded by Dominic Anthony with the grab there. And we'll start from the 49. And again, it seems to be on almost every one of these kicks, Matt, that they start between the 48, 50-yard line, and it shortens the field, which you gotta like because the offenses are able to score at a quicker pace. It's fun football.
They really have. And the one thing is, one thing we noticed, there hasn't been many turnovers in this game. One I can think of as an interception. Other than that, these offenses have been holding the ball. And this as you come down to the last few minutes, you got to really secure the football and really pound it home to try to win this game.
Littleton, not much there. Well, if you're Team Georgia, you know one thing. Maryland will go for it on all 4 downs. You need to stop them at least once, get the ball back for your offense. Georgia's offense has been more diversified than Maryland's, but both teams have had success with what they do best. Second down, still 10. Under 4 minutes to play in regulation. Littleton up the middle. For a moment, there was a big crease. That opening closed in a hurry thanks to LaQuanta Carter's defensive display.
Randy, we've been talking about it all game. This may come down to who has the ball last. And right now, Georgia's defense is coming up big, bringing up a 3rd and long here. And if they can get the football back for this offense and the way they've been moving the football, they might have a shot here right at the end to pull this thing off.
On defense, they're thinking we got to make 2 plays. On offense, they're thinking we need a conversion to keep the clock going and score right at the end. That's what they want to do. There's that forward pitch. That's a pass play to Littleton. And it was well defended. It's going to come down to this 4th down play. And they're going to need about 4 yards. Boy, 32 has been the feature back, hasn't he?
Yeah, and for good reason. I mean, obviously he's running with great purpose, but Trace Campbell, the quarterback position, does a good job. He was supposed to pitch it to Littleton, realized he's downfield, does a little shuffle pass, and getting those extra yards is key because it's a manageable 4th down right here, but no play bigger than this one so far in this game.
2:15 to play in regulation. It's 4th down and 4. Where will Trace Campbell go with the football? You remember he has that splendid receiver in Dominic Perry, but it's a procedure call that sure is going to get more difficult. It'll be 4th and 9 after the infraction.
We mentioned before, pre-snap penalties are so frustrating to a coach, and especially when the game is on the line. So you see it right there, 5 yards back, and put yourself in an even more difficult situation.
2:02 to play. Maryland thought they were out of downs. They still have the 4th down try, and they're coming back onto the field. The offense ran off. Fourth down and between 8 and 9 yards needed. Still can't get that play in, and Trace Campbell's jumping up there trying to say, guys, get me the play. They're going to pick up a delay of game here if they don't hurry. 4th down play for Campbell, and the flag is down. And he's going to get stopped short anyway. Ball came out late. It would help Maryland immensely if it is a delay game, because it would be a dead ball foul and they get the ball back.
There's just some major communication issues going on right now with Maryland and their offensive squad. They just have not been able to get on the same page here in these last 2 plays, and the officials signaling Georgia football.
Yeah, they picked up the flag. Ball goes over on downs. See that flag being tossed on the far sideline. And Georgia gets the necessary stop. And with 1:54 to play, they have a chance to win the game. Harrison Bailey is the quarterback. They've had success in the second half with Dante Marshall running the show. But it'll be Bailey with under 2 minutes to play that'll try to win it. Jordan Simmons, right up the middle, has the 50, bounces to the outside. Simmons down the sideline. Georgia leads. "52 yards. And Georgia is 1:41 away from going to the national final.
How about that call? In an obvious passing situation, they go to Simmons on a running play, and he uses his pure speed. Before that carry, 4 carries, 25 yards. He adds 52 to that and another touchdown.
Georgia got the necessary stop defensively, and in one play, the offense responds on the carry from Jordan Simmons. Whistle sounded before the kick try. Offside on the defense. And they're going to go for 2. After the penalty, that's another good call. Much easier from a yard and a half out. Especially the way they've run the football. Well, you see 41 prance out there. You got to think that he could be a guy in the middle here that could carry it. LaQuanta Carter. Jared Stokes, number 21, in the backfield. Carter's lined up in the slot. Stokes is in. Georgia by 8. (34-26) for Team Georgia.
And Georgia has been resilient all game long, never hitting the panic button, staying on it, and right now late in this football game, taking the lead, and obviously are excited. But on the other side of that football, you got Antoine Littleton, and he has proven that he can take it in one snap.
A minute 41 away from the championship game for Georgia. But as Matt has so designed, we've seen Maryland come back down the field and score. Can the red and white rally in the waning seconds? Travelstead will kick off. And this enjoyable game has come down to the final 2 minutes. National semifinals in our 6th grade division. Started with better than 60 teams. We're down to 3. North Texas is waiting for the winner. Baton will return. Baton staying upright and battles for an extra 3 yards to the 28. Now it's up to Maryland to generate an offense. They are really lathered up on that Georgia side defensively. So it's come down to minute and 32. Georgia by 8. Matt, this has been fun.
There's no doubt about it. These two teams are evenly matched. You can tell there's a lot of respect for that each team has for the other, and the way they're calling this game, it's been kind of a chess match between Coach Belton and Coach Minus. And these last few seconds, we'll see what Coach Minus has up his sleeve.
Time on the field. It's taken by Team Georgia.
Well, Coach Belton did the right thing. I think there was a formation where the star of this football game, Antoine Littleton, who normally lines up in the backfield, was lined up at the receiver position. Obviously, they're going to try to find a way to get him the football. Coach Belton does the right thing, calls timeout, makes sure now seeing that formation, he can properly line up his guys to defend it to the best of their ability.
Knowing it and stopping it are two different things.
There's no doubt that's a great point. And the thing about it is everybody's been trying to stop Littleton, and they have done a little bit, but I'll tell you what, he's over 250 yards and 3 touchdowns, so he's had quite a day.
Think anybody's sitting down? I think they're all standing.
For good reason. I mean, there's no doubt this is a top-notch football game between two great teams that have been put together. Still can't get over teams that have been together in this short amount of time, having this much success and having this much sophistication involved in offense and defense and bringing pressure. It's just unbelievable. And you see this atmosphere, you see the families that travel and the support, and you can't help but get goosebumps and be fired up for these kids, regardless of who wins and who loses. But certainly both these teams want to win because they want that chance to play in the Dome, as you mentioned.
Well, North Texas is waiting for the winner, and it will be a fabulous final. North Texas is a great-looking football team coached by former NFL defensive back Ray Mickens. Campbell unloads, grounded the ball. This will not count. Robinson bringing it back. But I don't think there's any question that ball was grounded.
It was grounded because of the instant pressure, and there's really nothing Campbell can do. You're expecting that your guys can at least get out of their routes and down the field and into their breaks, and with the pressure they had, Trace Campbell had no choice but to try to get rid of that football.
It's a loss of down and yardage to boot. Makes the assignment much more difficult for Team Maryland. Normally you think in terms of stretching the field, but I think Littleton's still got to be on your mind, although when you have Dominic Perry out there, there's another wonderful dimension of this offense, and another flag. You talk about getting it together and how great these athletes play despite limited practices. here in the 2-minute drill, not as easy to get it together for Team Maryland.
Yeah, and it's hard sometimes because you only have so many hours in your practice, and you're trying to get as much installed as possible. And sometimes, as we mentioned, special teams can get missed out, and certainly this 2-minute drill as well. And you can see a lack of focus, maybe, or maybe you're just hanging your head a little bit from this Maryland football team.
Littleton runs it, and again we're stopped by a penalty. Three penalties in a row against Team Maryland. And there was room, too, for Littleton up the middle. The procedure call. And this, too, is Team Maryland being so anxious. It's been the problem here on the last few snaps. But you got to think, if you're Team Maryland, you just need one big play. That's got to be your focus and your mental state, your philosophy. That's why they're still running it with Littleton, but he's denied. It's Team Georgia right in that middle, doing a great job. Tyreek Jones. Tyreek Jones is a wonderful defensive lineman, and he threw down Littleton. We go inside of 1 minute to play. (34-26) for Team Georgia. Here's the pass, no good. Now we'll stop the clock, and the final chance for Team Maryland about to occur. They need 25 yards for a first down. They need 86 yards for a touchdown. You talk about a difficult assignment. That's what Trace Campbell and this offense undertakes here. Campbell's throw, picked off. Carter takes it in. Touchdown, Georgia. We've got Georgia on our mind. They're going to the national final to meet North Texas.
And although the offense has shown up and scored some points, the story of this game is the defense and the way they've played the entire football game.
And in particular, late in this fourth quarter, they knew they had to stop the brilliant running back Antoine Littleton. They denied Littleton just enough to get the ball back for their offense. And now this time, Carter, who's been huge in this game, picks it off and seals the deal. This PAT is accurate. 41-26 for Georgia.
There's no doubt. You mentioned Carter, and he's done it on offense. But how about him from the safety position, knowing you can't let anybody get behind you? You're going to have to make a play. Trace Campbell throws the football up, knowing it's fourth down, and try to make something happen. But a fitting end for Carter in the game that he's had, and another touchdown in the stat book for him.
And we know that Georgia will rejoice, but we don't want Maryland to hang their head. They played a terrific football game. They've had a wonderful run to San Antonio. And they, pure and simply, Matt, gave us thrill after thrill battling this very fine Georgia team.
Well, they got to be proud of what they've accomplished. I mean, to win 4 games, to get here down to San Antonio, to put together, the run that they did. You always, initially, you feel you're upset because you don't want to lose, but when you look back and you see what you've accomplished, you've got to be excited about what you've done and all the people you've met and your teammates and friends you've created.
The Baton return. Again, he cannot reach the 30-yard line, and Carter's down there on the specialty unit. How fitting is that? Number 41. Everywhere. Offense, defense, specialty units. Well, Matt, it's been fun working with you on this national semifinal. I know you're going to come back and work the next one, a 7th grade game with Neil Sika. You got a busy day.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely lucky to be a part of this whole deal and really, excited to really watch these guys go out there and give it their all. We got everything that both these teams, Georgia and Maryland, had. I mean, these coaches prepared these teams well. They battled all the way to the end, and this could have gone either way.
Well, it's gone Georgia's way. So it'll be Georgia at North Texas, 8 o'clock Sunday morning at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio for the 6th grade national championship. The first one ever crowned in this division. Of course, we're going to have the 7th grade and 8th graders later today in the semifinals. We'll just run the clock out here. Maryland showing good sportsmanship. And the final 20 seconds at Wheatley Stadium. Don't know that Maryland will run another play. And for Georgia, they continue on. We're down to 2. Not just seconds, 2 teams as the clock hits triple zeros. Georgia over Maryland, Georgia to meet North Texas.
Georgia's got to be happy. You hear the chant, they're going to the ship. That's what they're doing right now. They got to be ready Sunday morning.
I love the new terms, and ship is one of them. Another one this year was chunk plays, but I didn't get into that. That seems to be the order of the day. To the sideline in Tyler Olson.
Down here on the field with the winning coach, Coach Belton. One heck of a football game, man. You've had some close games throughout the tournament. Probably the closest one you've had. You guys pull away at the end. What's going on in your head right now?
Man, I'm just so proud of my boys to show the dedication and the focus on pulling it out at the end. I mean, we definitely had to fight hard this whole game, and it shows that, during practice we enforce dedication and to work hard, and they showed it to us today. So I'm so proud of these boys.
For the first time in this tournament this year, we've had a 6th grade team advancing the championship round, and I think you guys proved today that 6th graders certainly belong in the conversation when you talk about youth football.
Oh, I think 6th grade definitely needs to be involved because that's where it starts. A lot of people start getting to no weight limits and things of that nature at 6th grade, and it just shows that the level of 6th grade ball is definitely the ability to show on TV and be on a national stage. So I'm proud of my 6th grade team, definitely.
Coach Belton, 6th grade team from Georgia, going to the Dome. Congrats, Coach.
Thank you so much.